Hello there, slingshot fans. This is Charles here again today. I'm out here with my test bed slingshot, and I wanted to do a little test today to see what effect having one band significantly shorter than the other will make. There are some who think that that may contribute to fork hits, and quite frankly I just don't know. So I thought I'd test it out today and see where we are. Alright, I'll just show you the setup first. I'll take the camera loose. Okay. And let's go over here. And here's the setup. I'm using an old plywood board cut that I used many years ago to keep cattle off my fences. And the bands here are Sparco number 107 bands, and they're just tied in an over-the-top configuration. The reason for using this old plywood frame is because if we do get a fork hit, I don't want to ruin anything that's any good. Now I hope you can see I've got some lines drawn here. Right here on the band is 7 inches from this point down to the pouch tie, and I've drawn another line which is 6 inches. So I'm going to take a couple of shots with both bands exactly the same length, this big old stone pouch here, and then I'll take one band loose and shorten it down to 6 inches from 7 inches. My draw length today is about 32 inches, and over here is my target, which is just a sheet of paper on a piece of cardboard, and I'll take 2 or 3 shots with the bands the same length and mark them, and then I'll take 2 or 3 shots with the bands at different length, and we'll see what difference it makes. Alright, well, I'm going to put the camera back on the stand. There it is. I think everything is still pretty plain. And let's just take a couple of shots with the bands at the same length. I'm shooting 3/8 inch steel ball today. Try to get it reasonably centered in that big pouch. I think that pouch was actually set up for stones, but it'll work alright for our purposes today. Okay, so here's the first shot. We're ready to crank her back and let her go. And get right back up here to the trigger, and then I'm just going to crank it through. Well, there's the first shot. I'll take another one just so that we can see how consistent we are. And cranking it back. There's the second shot, almost the same hole. I guess just to be sure, I'll take one more shot. Not really necessary, but what the heck. This thing's kind of fun to play with, so any old excuse, you know. Alright, ready for the third shot. Here it goes. Alright, that one went right through exactly the same hole. Okay, well, I'm going to come and get the camera now. Let's take it loose from the stand. And then we're going to walk over here and just have a look at that target. And you can see that there is essentially just one big hole there. I'm holding that cap in my mouth, so I sound funny. One big hole where the 3 shots went through. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm going to just mark those. There we go. And that was shooting with the bands the same length. Okay? Well, now I'm going to shut off the camera, retie those bands so one of them is only 6 inches instead of 7 inches. So I shall return. Hang on. Okay, slingshot friends, I'm back again. Well, I've retied this one band, this one on this side, so that it only is 6 inches from the fork to the pouch tie. This other one stays at 7 inches from the fork to the pouch tie. I have not changed anything at all on the target, and there is where I have marked our previous 3 shots when everything, both bands, were at the same length. Alright, so I'm going to put the camera back on the stand now, and then we're just going to take a few shots with that lopsided slingshot and see what happens. Alright, so there we go. Camera's back on the stand. Hopefully you can see everything. I'm going to go over here and take a few shots. Once again, using 3/8 inch steel. Load this sucker up. And it's going to be a little bit hard. Keep the pouch even. That's what I've done. I've kept the pouch ties right next to each other. And now I'm just going to crank it back and let's see what happens. Whoa, alright. Well, we got a significant deviation off to the right, as we might have expected, but we did not get enough. We actually got a fork hit. So let's try a couple more shots just to be sure. Reloading again, 3/8 inch steel, get it in the middle of the pouch, put it in the fingers exactly the same way. Now we're ready for our next shot. Crank it back. Oh, there's our second shot. Not being quite as consistent as it was with the bands the same length. Not quite sure why that would be, but here you go. Okay, here goes our third shot. Bingo. Alright, so we did not get any fork hits, but we did get a significant deviation in the path of the ammo. I'm going to take the camera off, we're going to walk over and just have a look at the target. So, as you can see, these are our first 3 shots, and these are our second 3 shots. So at 8 feet, there was, like a good 1.5 inch deviation off to the right. However, there was no fork hit. And you can see that these forks are, a good 2 inches in between those 2 forks, and even at that there was no significant fork hit, and that's with one band being 6 inches and the other one being 7 inches. So you can see if I were to just pull the pouch even out, there really is a hell of a difference in the length of those bands. Well, what's my conclusion? My conclusion is that even with one band significantly shorter than another, something I'm sure you would recognize as soon as you got everything together, an inch difference is quite significant, you're not going to get a fork hit, probably, from just having one band shorter than another. However, it will drastically affect the flight of your ammo. As you can see over here, the ammo was deflected to the right, and it was a little bit higher because a 6-inch band is being stretched a lot more than a 7-inch band. So you get a little bit higher velocity on the ammo, but of course there's a deviation off to the right where the short band happened to be. Alright guys, I hope you found this informative, and take care of yourselves, have a lot of fun shooting, and I'll talk to you again some other time. Bye-bye.